Welcome to the Focal Point Podcast. I'm your host, Tony Riggs. Here I take a deep dive into my personal interests of the hidden craftsmanship, philosophies, and passions behind society's talent. If you're intrigued by artistic nuance, please subscribe and follow on my YouTube channel, Spotify, and Buzzsprout. With that being said, let me introduce you to today's guests. All right, John, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm great. I mean, it's morning for me, but you're in Nigeria, right? So it's around like noon-ish, isn't it?
Yeah, it's this is 12:32 p.m. noon here.
Yeah. But from my understanding, though, is that well, actually, before I get into my questions, why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself and tell me what you do and how you got into it?
Okay, my name is John Smith Jr. Actually, my dad is John Smith Sr., so I am John Smith Jr. And I'm a filmmaker, scriptwriter, and editor here in Nigeria, which is in the western part of Africa. And I am also into hotel and hospitality. So I'm currently a hotel manager in a two-star hotel somewhere in Nigeria, southeast precisely, in the southeastern part of Nigeria. And I have engaged in so many work with different friends. One thing that I've always kept me going is all about teamwork. It's not all about just one person. It's all about teamwork. We work as a team, so we can be able to achieve greatness. And one thing is certainly sure that if we can do great things, then we should do small things with great love. So, so right now, I'm currently working with, that is to say, I'm working remotely with a friend who is in Houston, Texas, on his horror comedy film called Death Bike. So I happen to be the voiceover actor in some African scenes that I shot for him. And the sweetest part of it is that I spoke throughout my own set. I spoke my native tribal language. So in no distant time, the movie is gonna be out. Although I've gotten my IMDb credit, so I believe it's just little by little.
Well, that's
Thank
good.
you.
That's cool, actually. How did you first get involved with filmmaking? Did you first start talking to people that was locally around you, and at what point did you start reaching out to people internationally?
Okay. Well, I would say ever since I was a kid, I never miss any part of any interesting movie. That is Nigeria precisely. So it's just once in a while, my parents sometimes buy foreign movie from the US, made in US, China, India, sometimes in the British movie. So when I started coming in contact with people international was I joined some film groups on Facebook. I think the first film group I joined was Atlanta Film Production. So I happened to, when I posted some sample of my works, so I managed to get in contact with a lot of people who are on Facebook, who are
Hmm.
also in the movie business as well, like producers and directors. I hardly come across with actors because I believe that some actors don't have time for Facebook. So these producers and the directors, they are the only ones that have time because they post their work and jobs they have done. So little by little, when I started telling people this is what I can do, this is also something I can do. Then I said, do you have any resume or anything you're gonna show? I said, sure. So I called some of my team here together. We put one or two things together, and we show the little we can do. So when I happened to work hand in hand with some few people, they started referring me to this person, this person, this person. Even when I come directly in contact with somebody, I will say that I've worked with this person. He will say, okay, he would now reach the person and say, do you know John? He said he has worked with you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a good guy. He's good in this, he's good in that. And when it comes to the African scenes, he's good in that. So that was how the recommendation started coming. And boom, here I am in an interview with you.
Well, you seem to be a jack of all trades. Which was the first thing that you tried having your hand at when it came to filmmaking?
Well, I was like, I was handling the camera, holding the mics. I didn't just go to the screen just like that. So because I have to learn from the best.
Mm.
So when I started following them from location to location, carrying a lot of equipment. I see what they do, and I see how they do it. So when it now comes to a particular film, which I cannot disclose the name for copyright purpose. So when we are shooting this particular film, and they happen to say this guy hasn't showed up, who can do? We just need somebody who can play as assistant gangster to the gang. I said, Director, I can do it. Everybody smiled, said, No, you just guys said I can do it. So they just gave me a shot, and boom, I did it great. So that was my first appearance. So my name in the film was Hakimi. I was the assistant leader of Notorious Gang. Yeah, Notorious Gang. It's a very interesting movie, though. The name of the movie is called Sons of Africa, but it will soon be out.
Oh, that's cool. What's the name of it? Are you able to say?
Sons of, Sons of Africa.
Sons of Africa. Okay, gotcha. When ha, at what point did people start reaching out to you to be able to start doing some things for their films? Because I've had some experience with working some people actually also from Texas, but it was for a completely different reason. It was for visual effects purposes actually, and
Okay, okay. Yeah, okay. It's just that somebody might come out and say he wants to make his own film. So, due to, I think, from film advisors, people who advised this guy on his film, he said, for you to have a lot of viewers and for people to be interested in your movie, why don't you go international? Like, go to Europe or Africa or all these things. So, he said, I don't have such contact. So one guy now said, No, I have a guy who stays in Africa. Maybe perhaps he can be able to work with you. So he linked me up with him. And when I first met him, so he said that he's just an upcoming actor and producer, that he's just trying to make his own film for himself. He stays in Houston, Texas. So I said, Okay, what do you need me to do? He said, This is what I have to do. This is what I have to do. I said, Okay, fine. So he mailed me his script. I rehearsed on it for 2 days. After 2 days, I told him I was ready. He said, No, that this thing normally takes a week or a month to do some pre-production. I said, when an African man is involved, we don't delay. So I think 2 days is enough for me. So I did my pre-production within 2 days, and I told him I was ready. He said, Okay, fine. So he sent me some little finances, because his budget was about $1,000 for his budget. I told him that was too much. It's really, really, really too much. That's a whole lot of money here in Africa. It's very too much, except you want to shoot a complete movie. So he said,
huh.
like, how much can be able to run it? I said, approximately 250 or $300 can do it. He said, no, 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 that's way small. I said, that's small for you, but that's not small for us here. So one thing I always tell people, maintain honesty. It will surely take you far. Just maintain honesty. So when he sent the funds for that, I got some people I need to be included. I paid their welfare, their hotel bills, their feeding, and the expenses. So we run our stuff. So about 2 hours before we could start, I phoned him and said, because one thing about me, I always promote my culture. So although English is good, but I promote my culture because I love my fatherland. So I called him and said, We can't do this. He said, Why? I said, We have to speak our tribal language. It's a way of promoting my people. If you want me to help you, you have to help me as well. So the English is for the Western world. So me, I have my own language. I have my own mother tongue, which I was brought from childhood. English is just something I learned in school. So he said, okay, fine, fine. You guys can speak your tribal language. That means you have to subtitle it in English for my viewers to view. I said, sure, why not? So when I got his approval, because I was ready to refund him his money if he refused that I cannot speak my tribal language in the movie. So when he approved it, I now said, guys, let's kick off. So we did a job. We sent to him. It was super good beyond the way he expected it. So, and based on the language, our language we spoke. So I think his viewers can be really find it interesting. Just recently, I saw in his page, he said, my movie has gone international. Then he now posted us while we're speaking our language while shooting the film. So I was really, really, really very amazed. So I was really, really very amazed.
Well, there's a lot there actually. There's a lot there that I could get into. Well, for one, he was sending you $1,000 to be able to, or wanting to send you $1,000 to be able to accomplish what he thought was necessary from your end, at the very least, to be able to, you know, do
Yeah,
what you need to do. And you're like, no, that's too much. And then that's honestly the integrity is probably what will get you another job.
yeah,
Is
yeah,
what's going to
sure.
get you another job.
Yeah,
And I'm
sure.
curious a little bit about also before I get into the rest of what you had just mentioned.
Yeah.
What how did you allocate $300 to accomplishing what you needed to do on your end? Like what needed to be done? Because from to you, like to both of us, we're both foreigners to each other. You know, I'm a dude on the other side of the planet. To me, you're a dude on the other side of the planet. You know, and so because we're foreigners, we have that much in common. But to me, $1,000 is like, yeah, it's not a whole lot, but over there it converts differently. So I'm a little bit
Yeah.
about how you allocated just $300 to be able to accomplish what you needed to, and what you got done with $300.
Okay. First of all, remember when I said everything is all about teamwork? Teamwork. We work as a team. So, $300 back then was approximately half a million in my end. So, and so when he sent the money, I first of all, before he told me he was sending $1,000 over, I have already done the budget, which I was waiting for him to ask me what is the estimation. You understand? For the
Mm.
budget, both the equipment we are to use, the tripod, the sound, the lights, and every other stuff. So when he mentioned, okay, he's sending $1,000 over, so I said no, that's way too much. That's way too much. $300 can run the job, so he can use the rest for his other expenses over there because, like I said, it's all about teamwork. And I got some team members who work with me who just did it for free for me. All I had to do was just to pay for their welfare because sometimes I also do it for them for free,
Mm.
believing that probably one day when we get to the top, we'll all remember ourselves how we helped each other. Because anything about the movie is all about how do I use it in the African saying, said, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. So, so yeah, so I called some of my teammates. I called them. I said, I have this friend who is who wants to make something like this. This is what is involved. I know I didn't tell them that he's trying to send 1,000, and I said no because if I should do that, a lot of them is going to blame me. I said why? There's opportunity to, you know. So I just told them that is $300. That's the budget. So we are going to work according to the budget. So what we did was he sent us the money through Western Union. So we got to the bank, we created an account bearing his film name. Let's just say he's making a film like let's just say he's making a movie called Texas. So we opened an account writing Texas official film. So we created an account and we that's where we deposit the money. So each day we pull out and run the day's expenses. After the end, I make an account to him and edit the one we have done for the day and send to him until within 3 days or 4 days, I think we are able to complete our own side.
Mm. What was your impression when you first started working with other artists across the, across our lovely ocean that we have separating us?
Man, it was the biggest break of my life, honestly. The biggest break I have been long been waiting for. You see, I have met a lot of people on Facebook. So when I try to lay my request, tell them what I do, they all see me as a scammer. Within 1 minute, they blocked me.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, but it never made me to hate anybody because mankind is evil. All right, mankind is evil. So I never hated those people that blocked me on Facebook, Messenger. I never hate any of them. But one thing my father always said: if you get scammed, it shows that you are greedy. Only a greedy person gets scammed. That is
Hmm.
something I know. So when I first got this impression working with this first guy, I was that was the biggest break of my life. Even though I got nothing tangible out of it, but I was happy to say this project, I was part of it. This project, I was part of the team that made it happen. So I don't care what he made from it or whatever he made from it. As long as somebody will see me tomorrow and say, "Hey, I know this guy. He featured in this guy's movie. He's an African man in this guy's movie. Yeah, yeah. Say, is that you? Yeah, that's me. That's
Hmm.
me. It's not all about the fame. It's not about the fame, but I want them to like. I'm trying to create a legacy. So I think this is my first step because a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. So I think that was my first step, and by the grace of God, we'll keep pushing.
Well, it's interesting that you didn't blame the Westerners that you're, trying to reach out to, grow your own network for blocking you. Because as somebody who has also gotten emails from Nigerian princes asking for money, it's a very common thing that happens over here, and it's difficult because we know that there are filmmakers and artists and trustworthy people that exist, in different countries and even some countries that maybe have certain conflicts that make things very uneasy to be able to be productive and have a fruitful life as an artist. And it's really
Yeah,
interesting that you finally got your first break when it came to having somebody actually being willing to send
yeah,
you any bit of money
yeah.
at all. And then you showed integrity. It's like, no, that's like a reverse scam. You're
Sure.
giving money back. You could have kept the other 700 bucks. You could have kept the other $700 and then just been like, and then just spent 300. And honestly, even if that happened, like nobody would have batted at an eye because it would have because it wasn't like that's not necessarily a lot of money. But if anything, that that certainly I admire that. I personally admire that.
Well,
But
in my own end, minimum wage here is $20 a month for minimum wage. Okay.
a month,
Yeah, minimum $20 a month. That's the minimum wage. Okay. So like you an American, right? You're an
yeah,
American. Yeah. One thing I have understand about you people, your people. One thing I understand about your people. You people don't like people begging you. Instead, you want people to make a deal with you.
yeah, you're not wrong. That's exactly right.
Yes.
Yeah.
You people don't like begging. Instead, you make a deal. So that is something I've come to realize. All the while, I have been begging for people to, give me work, let me do, give me work, let me do. So they just see it as a scamming way. So until when I say to this guy, I would like to strike a deal. So this is what I do. This is what, in case you need, just let me know. So and that was what happened. Yeah,
Well, well because you're completely right. We try to the way we interpret as helping one another is making sure that we're both because things are expensive over here, and so that's why we have to make a lot of money just to be able to have like a normal kind of life. And it converts differently to other countries, but so the way that we interpret it as helping one another is to make sure that we both get a little something out of it, unless it's like in between really, really close friends where we'll just do each other favors. Like favors really only happen when you're a close friend or a relative with somebody. But when it comes to like just working with people, we we don't necessarily have a tight community aspect, culturally speaking, when it comes to like working with our neighbor just to do them a favor in general. Normally we try to compensate them in some way. Now, in the
yeah,
film community here, it's universal. Like, not a lot of people have a whole lot of money unless you're in the big industry, like Hollywood or even Atlanta or something like that. Tell me about what you'd like to end up seeing for your own country when it comes to being able to have a thriving filmmaking and art scene at large.
Well, um, I would say, before I answer the question, one thing you need to know is that a lot of people come into this film thing just because of the money. Some people come because of the fame, just to be famous. So me, I just want to be seen like every other normal person.
Mm.
You understand?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm not saying it because I'm at an interview. I'm just saying it because that is the fact and the truth, right? So like I have a lot of projects I would like to execute. I have a lot of projects, a lot of script I've written I would like to execute. Not that I don't know some prominent producers or directors to give it to so we can work together. But because of there's a way I have positioned it right from when I was little that this is how I want it to be. So I'm not going to use out of desperation to just to um, bring it out because greed is also in this film stuff. Greed is also there. So and people are envy, jealous that you're making more fame than me. Either they come to you and attack you physically or spiritually. A lot of things is really, really in this thing. So I want to see myself as a normal person so that all evil eye will not be on me.
Mm.
Yes. And I want to do it. I want to shoot my own movie in the future in a way that I am not stepping on anybody's toes. You understand? I
Yeah.
just want to do it. I just want to do it as and to entertain and satisfy people. Laugh, forget your sorrow. We live the world like one family. So I'm not gonna because some people say for you to be successful, you must be ready to step on some toes. If you want to be successful, you must be ready to step on so many toes if you want to be successful. So I wanna shoot my own movie like a normal guy by not referring or talking to somebody indirectly. I wanna just shoot it as a normal thing. I don't even want any Academy Award. I don't even want any of the whole stuff because one thing that attracts jealousy is when you're doing fine. And the reason why somebody is doing fine in a movie is because he's working with the right people. If you want to be successful, work with the right people. And if you have to work with the right people, while you're working with the wrong people, just be patient. Patient is always the strongest key, but nobody has that.
Mm.
You just be patient. If you're feeling the pain, feel the pain. It's part of the training. Feel the pain. Even if you do the deal, you get cheated, nothing comes to you, no problem. Let it go. But what is yours. And nobody can cheat nature. That's one thing I've always believed. So not that I have a lot of people I can work with, but once I've seen the lifestyle, so I don't want to make a mistake that will lead me to regret. So
Mm.
like I am now, I'm not a rich guy, neither am I a poor guy. I live comfortably. You understand? So I believe in no distant time by recommendation, truthful, honesty, and loyalty. I can still find people. Like my main passion is to work with people international.
Mm.
Yes, my main passion is to work with people international contacts, and that is why most of my friends on Facebook, if you at least out of let me just say 20% out of the 100, 20% will say this guy is an honest guy. Right. This guy is an honest guy.
How have you learned to filter people that are worth working with?
Well,
How have you learned to filter people who are not good to work with?
how do I? Sorry.
How have you learned to filter out people who are not great to work with?
Well,
Where does your judge of
uh,
character come from?
oh, I see. Well, Number one is communication. When you try to keep up with the communication and the person seems that he is not interested in that, that is that is to say he doesn't have your time.
Hmm.
Yes. And when they threw away your trust, when they threw away your trust, and one thing I know is that trust is the first mobility to disappointment. So when they threw away the trust and you guys lack communication, ideas, like you now doing this podcast, as we are friends, if you can't gain anything from me and I can't gain anything from you, what are we doing? We are certainly doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are just deceiving ourselves going around the circle. So, and that is one thing about friendship. As you an American over there, me, I'm a Nigerian over here in Africa, despite the distance, but there are a lot of things we can do in common that can be for you and I betterment without even us seeing each other or even shaking hands. So what we just need is that two things, trust and patience.
Hmm.
So to me, to judge someone's character is just communication. If you don't keep up with communication, then I don't think we're doing anything.
Okay. I mean, those are fair points. I want to circle back to a question that I think I asked, but I veered off of in a different direction. It's a podcast. If you don't have one side tangent, it's not a podcast. um, what do you think Nigeria needs as a country in order for its local filmmaking scene and its art scene to be able to grow and have much more financial backing and stability?
Well, Nigeria, what what we need is a lot, but to my own view, to my own view, I don't. How do I put it now? How do I break it down? Okay, let's use football for instance. Let's use football.
Okay.
Yeah. If there's a like kind of the World Cup is coming up, so um, a lot of people in high places will just use money and fix their own person in those places due to because they know people. But normal every circumstance, what they do is they send out scout agents to go into the streets, those ghetto streets, look for people who are good in skills, different skills, all around the states. That is what you should spend the money on and disburse money to them. They go into the street, look for people who are skillful, people who can play in the street without knowing they are being watched. So when you notice this guy is good in this, you bring all of them together. You bring all of them together. Educate them in a modified, in this modern century way. Educate them, lecture them, give them everything they need. Because so far as it has to do for the nation can provide everything they need. Then what we do is to give them more talent. You can even invite a foreign coach outside who has the huge experience to impact more knowledge on them about this experience. Then you push them to the front line, not somebody who just came back, somebody who has not been in Nigeria for over 15 or 10 years. He just came back from abroad and you use money and say, let him play for his country. Those people are looking for fame. They just want to be famous. They just put them in the field, train them. They say they are good in this, they are good in that. But but look at people of Brazil. That's what Brazil do. And a lot of people, a lot of European countries, they also do the same. So what my country really need, my country need to be on the lookout. Like create an audition, create a show, let people come and show their talents. Even if they create a show, create the audition, people will still come from behind with their money and fix their own people. removing the other people aside.
Mm.
That is the problem. Not that people cannot. So we thank God for YouTube. We thank God for Facebook. We thank God for social media. This time we don't have to go to anybody again to do anything. You can be your own content creator yourself and post. Anybody who want to view can view. It wasn't back then. We used to travel from state to state, from street to street, looking for people to hire us that we can do this, we can do that, just to show your talent to a human being. Right now, none of that is possible anymore. You can do your own stuff right in your own house, put it on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, name it. So we thank God for all this technology that has advanced so far in order to help us to showcase our talents. Yeah. So if not for Facebook and Instagram and then TikTok, I don't think I'll be able to find somebody like you here.
Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah.
Honestly, if it
Uh,
wasn't for YouTube and Facebook, I'm not, and Instagram, I'm not sure how I would have a podcast, frankly. That's how I find my guests, and then that's how I get to know people. And then, I mean,
yeah.
it's the same. It's the same. I think certainly YouTube has given a lot of power, even though it was a U.S. born company. It's given a lot of
Yeah.
power back into the people of a lot of other different countries. It's not just the U.S. And I think
Yeah.
people from my country are a little bit insulated because we have a really large country. We don't really need to necessarily worry about what's going on elsewhere because we have our neighbors down the street that might be losing their mind, or there's some other thing happening in another state elsewhere in the U.S.
Uh,
because it, but there's a lot of other cultures that
yeah.
benefit
Likewise,
from being able to
likewise.
have. Go ahead.
Yeah. Likewise here too. And that's why it's called chapter. Each movie has its own chapter in every state. So it depends on the chapter you are registered to. I'm talking about my own country. So
Mm.
whatever thing is going on, whatever thing they want to do, their own chapter can look after it. But they have an overall chairman in the whole country in charge of the whole chapters. We call it Actors Guide of Nigeria, AGN. So it depends on the chapter that you are. Like me, I am in the East chapter. So we have our own chairman.
Oh,
Except
those are
when it's
the chapters are the jurisdictions and the districts.
yes,
That's what they're called
yes,
there. Okay.
yes, yes. So except if the national chairman wants to see you, you have to fly to the headquarters to see the national chairman.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, tell me, I want to know a little bit more about your personal craft. You said that you've written some screenplays, and I'm curious if you had the funding available to accomplish the screenplay that you would ideally like to be able to see come to life. What would
Yeah.
that story be about, and how do you think you would go about doing that?
Okay. For some reasons, I will not go deep in what I've written because it's like something like, let's say I have already sold the copyrights. So yes, because what I do is I write, I submit proposals. People, if they buy the idea, then buy the story from me. So that is why sometimes when you see a movie, instead of saying story, you will see written by. Okay, let's just say I'm John. I sold my story to James. So they will now write written by James. Okay. Yeah, except I have contributed, like I also contributed in the making of the film. Then let's say along the line they will now write based on the story by John Smith. You understand? So most of my stories I've written was all about it's all about politics. Most of the script I've written, but the one I have personal, which I haven't released yet, I still hold it on to myself because I must be part of the movie from beginning to the end because it's a great movie that I have written right from when I was 14.
Mm.
So yeah, so I still have that one, but most of my stories are stories of politics, blackmails, how they blackmail each other. If you want to be a governor, you want to be a president, you want to be a senator, the kind of blackmails they go through. so that your opponent can step down for you to climb into power, and how it leads to violence, and a lot of them I've written so far. I've also written the one about love. Yes, I've also written the one about love. Yeah, which is just a prince and here and there. I've written also, and the one I'm currently writing, which if anybody buys the idea, it will. That's why I'm trying if it can go international. It's actually a church movie, kind of a demonic that has to do with the Catholic demonic church,
Mm.
like casting out demons, like an exorcism. So somebody who's an exorcist to cast out demons, you pray, you cast out the demons, and you just have to do about the church, the Catholic Church. So praying, bringing out the demons, and I'm still writing actually. So I haven't come to the end of the story yet because one thing that motivates me in writing is this: I don't just sit down and form something. So I take what happened to me each day. When I go out, everything that happens around me, as I come back during the day, I bring it together, compile it up, and I make a story.
Mm.
Yeah.
When do you feel most inspired um, in order to be able to write?
Ah, man. Well, myself, like, I love writing. I love writing. I love writing because when I was in high school, I studied literature to the end. I was the overall best in literature, and I won it 6 times in a row from 2007 to 2012. The best student in literature. I won it 6 times in a row. I still have the awards here in my closet. So I spend most of my time in Shakespeare, Julius Caesar. A lot of things I read about the literature is there. I have a Tempest, Romeo and Juliet. A lot of it.
So
So I love
classic
writing.
literature, not just literature. It's the classic and the greats.
Yeah. So I have a lot of I have like I love writing. I love writing. I write a lot. So I just love writing.
Well, I'm also a screenwriter, so I tend to get off into my own head, and sometimes it's very distracting. So,
Yeah.
which begs the question from when I'm curious about you is when do you feel like you're able to focus the most? And how do you set your environment up when you're going to write? Do you block out? How do you block out distractions? What do you need as a writer in order to do your best work? You think?
Yeah. What I need is honestly, what I just need, even if it's a remote job, something that can make me stay away from the outside world, something that can make me to be not to be answerable to somebody at any point in time. I want to be my own boss so that I can be able to achieve my own aim. Because although one have to survive in one way or the other, so because if I was like financially stable, just like have like a small thing going on, a job that doesn't take much of my time during the day. Let's say a job who only takes 6 hours of my time a day, then I can be able to use the rest for my own personal stuff. But right now, the kind of stuff I'm into now, the kind of job I'm into, hospitality, need my services 24 hours, 247.
Mm.
So it was only there will be a particular day, there will be no rush hour. So I just have to rush, do what I gotta do in the film stuff, and come back. Even right now, a lot of people are still calling, "Hey, will you be coming out, John? Okay. There is this guy who is making an Arabic film somewhere in the town. He's actually from China. So when he was saying, he said, we have this guy who's good in this, but his job always takes him away. And this thing I'm doing, this job I'm doing, is not something that I have to just quit because I gotta survive. I got bills to pay. You understand? So that is if I can just get something that can just take less of my time, But no matter how little I earn, so far as that it can foot my bills. Then let's say the little one I'm making on the movie side is the one I'm using to sustain my life and my future. Or the little job I'm doing is the one to help me take care of my bills and I can be able to pursue my dream.
Mm.
So maybe if I start making the little fortune out of life, I can set up a business that I can employ people who don't wish to be in the movie stuff, who wish to be this, then they can be able to work for me and I sit at home, do what I gotta do, be my own boss. You understand? So, and that's why, although there is a guy who is trying to help me see if he can get me a remote job I can do from the US to here.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, so I said, even if it's $100 a week, I'm willing to take. It's really, really cool for me. So I just pray I find one. And if I find that kind of job, then also I now get people who really want to work with me in this film. Man, within 1 year, within 1 year, man, we're gonna make the biggest break of our life, honestly. I have
Have
a
you
lot to
talked? Yeah. What about your associates and your friends that you work with locally? What do they think about the local film scene in your area, and have they also tried to reach out to other people to work with internationally? What has your conversations with them about topics like this been like?
well, I have my friends here in my own local end here. Um, man, like I always told you, greed and selfishness has always been the problem to mankind. You might, okay, you and I might be friends and we work together, things are moving fine. You're saying something and I'm saying something, everybody's happy. Then I try to lure in my fellow African. He is gonna do everything to make sure that you and I are separated, to bring confusion and problem, so that you and I can be separated. Then he can reap all the glory, being the saint and the holy guy. So like anybody who is coming into your life, there's an interest the person is after. He's not just coming for anything but interest. If they don't have any interest in you, they wouldn't be messing around with you. So when they see that you're not giving them a chance, but you are trying to see if they can prove themselves, and if the more you give them that
You cut out.
they don't have any reason, they don't have any reason to come close to you. So in my own local end here, in my own local end, not that I don't have people I can associate with, but I do it just business.
Okay. When
Yeah.
you're working on projects with your associates, what tends to be the most difficult obstacles that you guys have to overcome in order to be able to get the project accomplished?
Uh, Nothing else. We call it rubber. Do you know what is rubber?
No. What's Rapa?
Money.
Oh my. It's the same here. Yeah.
Yeah, money.
Yeah,
What
you're
else
not wrong.
again? Money. And there's what we call a wolf. You know what is a wolf?
If it's money again, then I don't know.
A wolf means money that came surprisingly. Like you were asked go and buy an orange and you were given $1. Then you called and said orange has increased in the market. It's now $10. So they now sent you $9 extra, but you bought the orange $1. So you have $9 to yourself. So now if you happen to go with somebody to the market to buy that nine orange, he will now say, bring the awoof money, let's share.
Oh. Okay, so it's like
So
it's the
when that
marked
guy,
difference in the increase of price.
yes, so when that guy wanted to give me $1,000, I knew, I knew that $300 was for the job. But because I don't want to spoil that first engagement, that first friendship of trust, and that number one business, that was why him and I were still having the meeting. I said, no, it's 300. Because if those my friends were aware that it's 1,000, they will insist I should collect the 1,000. But I'm still going to collect the 1,000 so that they will not see me as the bad guy. Like they will not see themselves as the bad guy, me the good guy. So that was why I decided to do the business, the negotiation with myself one on one with the person. Because if we happen to get that $1,000 and at the end we spend 300, the remaining 700 is their wolf. We now sharing. But for me to maintain that friendship, I know that you see, robbery is easy. Robbery is very, very easy. But the problem is after the robbery, that is when problem comes. Sharing, the sharing, that is where the problem always come.
Hmm.
You will see a successful robbery, they will rob successfully, but at the end, they will still get caught. And why they get caught, it was after the robbery, that is the problem after the robbery. Sharing. The sharing is the problem. So if we got that 700, and this one will say, hey, I do this, I did that, so I should have this one. This one will say, no, I did this, I did that, I should be the one to have this one. So I wouldn't want anything to jeopardize my team, at least not now with money. That was why I had to cut it down on time. Anybody who's willing to work from his heart and take the little he can take home should come. If you don't want to, that's the door. You piss off.
How does your sense of honesty and integrity affect the way you write stories?
Yeah, my father, my father. I grew up with my dad right from when I was little to 2020 when he died. My father died 5 years ago.
Hmm.
So my father was a policeman. He was an honest policeman. My father, my father worked in the police force for 35 good years. From 1975 to 2010, he worked in the police force for 35 years and retired. Bribery, corruption was never in his book. And he always told me that. A lot of people will say, hey, your fellow cops, they are building houses, they are buying cars, but you just want to carry the government job on your head. At the end, no compensation. My dad said his pension and his gratuity at the end of the service is okay for him. After 35 years, my dad will just pay $1,600 after 35 years of working
Huh.
as, as his gratuity. He was paid $1,600 back then. So, like, what am I saying is this? Assuming my father lived the life of corruption and theft, because he always warned and said, when you're into all these things, there are just two things waiting for you. One is either you live a bad life or you give birth to bad children. These are the two things my father always said. So, assuming my father was into all those corruption stuff back then, which they are still in, but look at them today. Those people who said they got money from the police through bribe and corruption, they are building houses. Look at their kids today; they are all drug addicts. Some of them are even in jail for drug trafficking, cocaine, and the rest. Due to because they will grow up in a place where they get everything in a platter of good. But me, where I grew up, before you get anything, you have to suffer first of all. Once you suffer, you will know how to value it because you suffer to get it. So you will not waste it. So my inspiration is my father. My inspiration is my father. I know how he used to beat me up for some mistakes I always do. He would say, do you know what that cost? Do you know what this thing cost? So it doesn't make me to hate him. It makes me to be careful, to be more careful next time.
Hmm.
So I still live with that principles, and these are the same principle I'm gonna pass on to my kids. Though I'm not married yet, I'm not married yet. Hopefully soon. So my biggest inspiration is him. My biggest inspiration is him, And I see the way he argue with his colleague in the office. Whenever I close from school, I visit him in the office. I see the way he argue with his friends and the kind of English word he speaks. It really motivates me. I will just write it down. I will write it down. There is a place my father said. My father made a statement to this guy. The thing really touched his soul. So there was this guy who always bullies me in school. He always bullies me. So a, a day comes in public, I told him the same word my father told the other guy, and this guy was like, he calmed down. Everybody was like, wow, who gave this guy this knowledge? Who gave you this knowledge? So I just said, I just smiled and said, that's my life. So I remain grateful to my father. Even in death, I'm still grateful and loyal to him. So I keep
Mm.
saying, may God bless his old bones and he continue to rest in peace. So he was my biggest inspiration back then. Even till now, he's still my inspiration because I still live with his principles. So it hasn't landed me into jail. Nobody can go to any station now and say there's a complaint about me, there's a misconduct about me. If I want to join the military today, my records are clear, my data is all clear because I live a life of honesty. The only problem I get with people of your kind, the Americans, is just that I'm a black man. So um, they feel that everybody's a thief, everybody's a scammer. Yes, we are all searching for our daily bread. Like there is this comedy quotes I always say. I always tell people, do you know the only scam that God gave us?
What?
The stomach. The stomach. Yeah.
You're not
If not,
wrong.
yeah. If not for greediness, if not for greediness, like what you're gonna eat and put in your tummy, I don't see any reason why somebody have to steal from somebody. Somebody have to dupe somebody or defraud somebody. The stomach is the only scam God gave us. So everything we are doing is what we have to put from from like have to put food in the table to put in our mouth. So I don't blame anybody who choose that way of life. So I don't blame anybody because everybody has to survive. But it's certainly not good and it's evil both in the sight of man and in the sight of God as well. So I believe that hard work pays. When they say God bless you, it's when you work hard, when you work truly hard. That is when God will come and bless the hard work. Then you will see the fruit of your labor. So back to your question, my father is my biggest inspiration. He is my biggest inspiration.
Mm. What if more Westerners reached out to, as an example, people like yourself in Nigeria or elsewhere? What do you think would be a great way to, one, approach them in a way that lets them know that they're serious about potentially working together, and two, making sure that they know that who they're talking to on the other end is also an honest person?
Okay, well, that is that thing I've always said. Maintain honesty. If you maintain honesty, people will be willing to grant you audience to hear what you have to say. If they buy the idea, they will say the only question they need to ask you is, how do we make it happen? Then you will say, this is what we're gonna do. So you maintain honesty and loyalty. So in this film industry, nobody is small. Even the smallest child in the town who is also an actor or a producer or a director is not small. You just have to bow, mellow down, humble, bow to your superiors, respect them so that they can carry you along in what they are doing. When you finally have your wings strong, because birds, they don't just start flying, they fall down and get up. You understand? So when they fall down, they get up, they fall down, they get up until their wings are more stronger. So when you work with these people, you humble, despite the fact they are selfish, they are greedy, they are wicked, they are evil. Yes, be patient, work with them. By the time you've created enough contact for yourself and you have mastered the game, know how the game works, then you make your hit.
Where do you hope to eventually grow as a filmmaker and a storyteller? And are there any other technical skill sets that you think that you would like to learn in order to be able to accomplish what you'd like to do?
Well, each day that passes, we learn. Nobody's perfect. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So, so what I just hope, like I just hope for the best. I just
I mean,
hope for
fair
the
enough.
best.
Fair enough. It's like I don't know what's gonna happen, but I hope it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Sure, sure. All you have to do is just keep your hands clean. Uplift your hand. Just do the right thing and leave the rest for nature.
That's the thing that I've noticed about a lot of your responses is that it, which gives me a little bit of an insight into one
Yeah,
perspective of Nigerian culture, is that you've broken a lot of. It seems like society is broken up into those who respect their neighbor and those who treat others the way that they would like to be treated, and then there are those who take advantage of one another. Would you say that
yeah.
that is an accurate read into what I'm starting to see?
Okay. Okay. You see, why? It is rumored that America is the country that has the world power, right?
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you one question. Have you sometimes wonder why you guys hardly quarrel with each other?
I'd say it's probably because we're a young country, and
Yeah,
we there's a
no,
lot of there's a lot of
no,
siblings. We act like siblings, I think.
no, that's not it. This is it.
Okay. All right.
You guys speaks one language with one voice. What kills other countries is tribalism.
Mm.
Different languages, different understanding. If you are a president, you will prefer somebody from your own tribe, your brother, to be in the same power with you, kicking the other tribe people out. So the other tribe will try everything possible to kick you guys out too for them to be in power. That is the only thing that is killing Africa. Tribalism, different languages in one country. This one is this from this tribe, this one is from this tribe, this one is from this tribe. The majority will be oppressing the minority, and that is the commotion. If they can do it in a way that this tribe on your own, this tribe on your own, but it's just that what I have, you don't have it, and what you have, I don't have it. So we feel like we need each other, but still, even if we get to the power, you still want your own brother, your own person, your own tribe to be there, and me, I will be feeling cheated. Even if we try
Right.
to separate, you have oil, I don't have oil. You have gold, I don't have gold. So we need each other. That is the problem. That is the problem. Tribalism. This tribalism is the problem. If we speak one language, we'll be talking with one voice, planning with one mind, engaging on works with one honesty. But this one will say, I am from this tribe. I don't know the next person that is coming into power if he's going to retain me. So therefore, let me steal as much as I can now that I am in this particular government, in this regime,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know the next tribe that will come if it's going to retain me because we're not from the same tribe. So let me steal as much as I want. And when this one will go, another one will come. It will now say, let me steal as much as I want, forgetting that there are people back home waiting for results.
Mm.
So these are the kind of scripts I write, and these are the kind of stories I want to make with people to tell the world. Like sometimes it's not all about the film; it's a message to tell them that this is our problem. So these are the things I want to do, and by the grace of God, I will achieve it in my own lifetime, and I will be alive and make it happen. That is one thing I've always said to myself. These are the kind of politics script I want to write to pass a message that this is our problem. Okay? If what is happening in this country is giving me concern, I will write a story, I will do my research, I will write a story and say, and then we see it indirectly in an irony way that this is their problem. This is certainly their problem. Perhaps if God touches their mind, they might say, okay, let's see, since we have made a movie like this and it's quite touching, very soul touching, let's see if we can make an adjustment with this here and there. Yes, and even if the movie goes far, even if the movie goes far and we make a fortune out of it, at least 30% should go to that legion that is suffering from that thing that we wrote about in a way to support, because this is a sign from God that said, okay, this is a way. And once we make the first move, you see government will come in.
Mm.
So these are the kind of stories I really want to write. These are the kind of things I want to do, not all this hey, 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 fuck you asshole, hey, fuck blah 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 blah. No, no, no,
All right.
no.
Well, it's been absolutely wonderful. You're my first international guest, so thank you for coming on. And it's been great
Thank you.
getting to see and hear other perspectives, because this is something I've been wanting to do, and to talk to other people outside of my own borders. Um, I hope to get a lot of other countries, eventually on the podcast. But it's been it's been a pleasure getting to know you. Is there anything that you would like to leave with the audience as a final thought?
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, whenever you need me, we're always ready. Anytime, any day. We're always here.
Okay, will do. Well, John, thanks for going on with the podcast. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
And you too.